Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Detroit Lions owner just came up with a brilliant way to make her players stop kneeling. It's clearly been a big issue dealing with NFL players kneeling during the national anthem. Clearly, you cannot simply fire or even suspend all of them at this point, so the owners have been desperate for a new solution. Well, instead of threatening them with firing if they kneel, Ford thought of an even better solution. She decided to reward the ones who respect the anthem. Martha Ford reportedly has now incentivized her players to stand by offering up donations and her name to the charity of their choice if they respect the anthem. Lions running back Ameer Abdullah told reporters, "We do dance around the topic a lot, and Mrs. Ford has come forward and said that as long as we compromise as a team and unify and make a unified demonstration, she'll back us financially. So I'm definitely going to hold her to her word." Now some people may see this as nothing more than simple bribery. I don't. I see a billionaire owner put her money where her mouth is to defend the anthem we all love. And the result? Well, standing players of course. Now they get to help causes without insulting our soldiers. Let's get this out everywhere quick and see which NFL owners are willing to do what it takes to get the results. With blood drying on the ground in Las Vegas, Nancy Pelosi makes a sick move to go after our guns. Democrats in Congress are using the opportunity to push America toward new gun control laws. The leader of the House, Nancy Pelosi, wrote House Speaker Paul Ryan on Monday to ask for a new congressional committee that was dedicated to gun violence, according to Daily Mail. She then asked for the same thing 2 years ago following an Oregon community. The White House insisted today that today wasn't the right time to get into political debates about the massacre. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders called for a day of reflection, a day of mourning, a day of gratefulness for those that were saved. Pelosi wrote this following letter: "I urge you to create a select committee on gun violence to study and report back common sense legislation to help in this crisis. The bipartisan committee would make recommendations to prevent unspeakable tragedies such as the mass shooting in Las Vegas and to restore confidence in the safety of our communities. Today is a day for prayer, mourning, and love, but it must also be a day for action." President Donald Trump has been clear that he's a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, says White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders on Monday. President Donald Trump has been clear that he's a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, said Sarah Sanders as well. Share this if you think that it's sick that Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the Dems are trying to take away guns. Lady Gaga and Julianne Moore just did something sick to take advantage of Las Vegas attack. People can't just be left alone to grieve for one day after national tragedy without a celebrity coming in and making it about politics. Entertainers Lady Gaga and Julianne Moore went on separate bizarre, nasty rants on Monday shortly after the horrific Las Vegas attack that left over 50 dead and hundreds injured. Gaga was responding to a tweet from Paul Ryan, which read, "America woke up to heartbreaking news from Las Vegas. We stand united in our shock, our condolences, and our prayers." Another call for gun control and then calling the incident terror. Terrorism has a very specific definition: the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. The operative word here is political aims. Maybe she should go to the police immediately and tell them what she knows that they don't, because right now, we do not know the motive of the attack. We do not know what the political aims were, or if there were any political aims at all. Julianne Moore took it up another notch, mocking those offering thoughts and prayers by retweeting human rights advocate Greg Hogbin. Julianne Moore is an ardent anti-gun activist, and Lady Gaga signed a petition urging stricter gun laws in 2014. Celebrities make gun control seem so simple, but it is anything but simple. France has extremely strict gun control and they have mass shootings, including the horrific 2015 attack in Paris that left 137 dead and over 400 injured. Chicago has tough gun laws but has one of the highest gun violence rates in the country. When celebrities just come out of the woodwork to demand gun control after these horrific attacks, they show blatant disrespect for the victims and an almost sickening opportunism. The Las Vegas attack was a tragedy on a massive scale that will take weeks, if not years, to fully comprehend. While the authorities are still sorting out what happened, what is so wrong with simply praying for the victims, for their families, and the officers in charge of understanding this crime, and save the politics for another day? HT Daily Mail. CBS vice president who mocked out Vegas victims just got hit with the worst karma of her life. Sometimes justice is slow. But sometimes, like in the case of a top lawyer for CBS Haley Jeff Mangold, justice is very, very quick. Right after the horrific attack on concert-goers in Las Vegas Sunday night, Jeff Mangold posted a sick comment on Facebook saying she was not even sympathetic to the victims because country music fans are often Republican. Luckily this time her employer wasn't going to take it. A CBS spokeswoman said Jeff Mangold, who was with us for approximately 1 year, violated the standards of our company and is no longer an employee of CBS. Her views as expressed on social media are deeply unacceptable to all of us at CBS. Our hearts go out to the victims in Las Vegas and their families. Bye. The ex-lawyer wrote an apology later Monday night, saying, "Earlier today I posted an indefensible post in a Facebook discussion thread concerning the tragic Las Vegas shooting, a statement I sincerely regret. I am deeply sorry for diminishing the significance of every life affected by Stephen Paddock's terrorism last night and for the pain my words have inflicted on the loved ones of the victims. My shameful comments do not reflect the beliefs of my former employer, colleagues, family, and friends. Nor do they reflect my actual beliefs. This senseless violence warrants the deepest empathy. I understand and accept all consequences that my words have incurred." Jeff Mangold's lawyer also put out a statement. "In the last few hours my client, her family and friends have been bombarded by online death unimaginable in quantity and detail. We beg people to show love and support to survivors and loved ones, in Las Vegas and their own lives, instead of creating more violence." Her lawyers has a point: there's no need to harass this woman. She said something truly appalling, her employer found out, and now she's paying the price by losing her job. These leftists are really sick sometimes, but we're not going to let their hatefulness prevent us from being compassionate and kind, and we're going to show them how real Americans act by being kind to the victims' memories and keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. Share it out if you agree. HT Fox News. Steve Scalise just confessed the one prayer he said right after being shot. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise returned to Congress last week after spending 3.5 months recovering from a gunshot wound sustained from gunman James Hodgkinson in a crazed attack on Republican lawmakers. Scalise and his wife Jennifer just sat down with CBS's 60 Minutes' Norah O'Donnell for their first interview since the attack. During the interview, Scalise described in detail the fateful day of his injury, saying that at the time, "I knew I was shot. Didn't know how bad it was. You know, in a weird way, your body kind of goes numb. You know, as bad as the wounds were, and obviously I know now how severe it was. At the time, I guess my body had been shutting down a lot of the real pain. And I was just thinking about what was going on at the moment." He later continued. Scalise, "Well, when I went down, you know, my first instinct was to try to get away from the gunfire. So I started crawling. And you know that's when my arms gave out." O'Donnell, "And then what did you do?" Scalise, "At that point I just went into prayer. And it gave me a calmness. It was a weird calmness while I'm hearing the gunfire. You know, the first thing that came to mind. I prayed, God, please don't let my daughter have to walk up the aisle alone. That was the first thing that came to mind. It is nothing short of a miracle that Steve Scalise was able to survive that day and walk into Congress 3.5 months later. Scalise's femur was shattered by the bullet, which also caused extreme internal damage. It is so incredible to know this man got to see his family again, and he can still walk his daughter down the aisle. Love Steve Scalise? Share this out 50,000 times. HDCBS News.